Next up, we have Jeanne Thornton, our fiction faculty. Jeanne is the author of Summer Fun, winner of the Lambda Literary Award, as well as The Dream of Dr. Bantam and The Black Emerald. She is the editor, with Tara Madison Avery, of We're Still Here, an all-trans comics anthology, and the co-publisher of Instar Books. Her work has appeared in N+1, Harper's Bazaar, Wired, The Evergreen Review, and other places. More info can be found at jeannethornton.com. Now please join me in welcoming Jeanne.
Gosh, thank you all so much. This is a very wide room, so I'm going to keep doing like this thing a little bit. So I'm going to read to you. Can I take this out? Let me see. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Can I take this out? Is Jesus feeding back? Okay. So I'm going to read you an excerpt from my book, ASL, which is going to be coming out either next year or 2025 from Soho Press. This is pretty close to the beginning of the book. In it, a teenage Boy Scout who is one day going to take the name Lilith and become a trans woman, who's part of a teenage video game making collective with another mysterious online teen girl named Sash, is getting ready while on a campout with the Boy Scouts to do some map making work on the Japanese RPG. Do people know what JRPGs are? Okay. I heard one no, so I'm gonna explain. It's like Final Fantasy. It's like basically you pretend to be different, like fantastical beings and fight some kind of like wicked, giant, abstract entity. It's very cool. The book is about such video games and transsexual people. So anyway, Lilith is preparing to do some map-making work for this RPG while on this camp out with the Scouts. Careful to avoid any contact with her tent mate, Lilith took her spiral notebook from her hiking frame backpack, an unchewed ballpoint still clipped to its binding, and got to work on her game maps for the first time in weeks. She would start by reviewing Sasha's feedback. Sasha, again, mysterious teen girl who is her business partner in this venture. Blocking the page of her notebook with her body, she unfolded the email that she had printed on her father's inkjet. So we're going into this email now. To Lilith from Sash, date August 15th, 1998. Hello. I won't waste our time. Your work is not where it needs to be. I started to leave itemized feedback on specific points, but in the end, I decided it would be easier just to remind you of what we're all attempting to do here, okay? So remember that there are 4 principles of there-ness that underlie good video game design. Principle number 1, interactivity. Each logical area of a video game room should contain at least 2 to 3 affordances for player interaction. For example, Painter's Tower in Super Mystic Knights 4, a JRPG. A whole gallery of paintings by the mad artist Daster, all of which give insights into the mad artist Daster's character and also unlock further dungeon corridors. You, Lilith, have drawn whole rooms without any affordances. Why have you done this? Principle 2, ecology. Everything in a dungeon room should be a logical consequence of the dungeon's narrative meaning, which should be a logical consequence of the RPG story as a whole. Example, the slime canals in Mystic Knights 2, which render plausible the waste disposal needs of the small, wild, magical communities of the Lost Continent. What, Lilith, is the theme of the rooms that you have submitted? Principle 3, enticement. I'm not enticed. Players should be drawn in by meaningful choices and possibilities. Example, the cursed accessory trade in Super Mystic Knights 3. Do you spare the life of the NPC wizard, but then pay full cost for spells in the final encounters, potentially resulting in game over? There isn't anything like that in what you sent. And principle number 4, involution. Do we even need to discuss involution again, Lilith? Now, I've included what I assembled of my room-by-room notes on your maps, but what I really want is more of an understanding of these 4 underlying principles that we're working toward. Please look at the examples I laid out, maybe study and try some variations on them as exercises, and take what you learn from that into the next draft of these maps. I know that you can do this, Lilith. Let's discuss on our meeting on IRC next week. Sash. P.S. I hope our last chat was okay. Lilith read Sash's postscript again, the words blurring and the tent canvas staining the printout green. Then, her head hot, she put the letter aside and took out her notebook. Sash had already given her the whole list of maps that she was to produce for their completed game. Wizard Academy Courtyard. Wizard Academy Secret Passage to Stairs. Wizard Academy B1. Wizard Academy B2. Wizard Academy B3 North. Wizard Academy B3 Northeast, etc. It was a massive amount of work, and Lilith knew that she would need to sacrifice to complete it. She skipped TV evenings with her parents. She did not study for tests. She could afford some B's and C's. She lost track of shows she had followed, and yet somehow she still fell behind. She rotated the blank page. Sometime this helped, and she tried to focus. Be patient. A scout is patient. A scout is cheerful. All she had to do was outline the map, think through the player's chain of interactions, or she could just copy a map from some other professional game. She had done this before. Sash hadn't noticed. In fact, Sash had praised her for it. At the time, this had been Lilith's only betrayal of Sash. Because Sash was so good at games. All Sash's games felt like her. Short, taut, rich in theories. Lilith had a save file in one of Sash's game. The part where, this is really weird to read at a Catholic university, the part where a novitiate and a mother superior take off one another's clothes and have rich, Eucharistic sex in the chapel of a monastery with lushly described stained glass windows. Here, this is the dialogue of the game, is the space where we can be most open, naked, and without defense. Here, sister, we can be ourselves at last. The first time she read these words in Sash's script, Lilith sat at the computer in her parents' den, skin-washed in cathode for a long time. Just outside the window, the brown summer grass lay still in suburban streetlight. She never let herself replay the scene for the save file more than once a month. She thought about it alone, under her blankets, falling asleep, thinking of the words Sash had written, braided with another word, safe, safe, safe. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Jeanne. I think we should issue a formal apology. Wait a second. No, we're not playing that game.